Yahoo versus Google, the cost of arrogance.
Imagine a world without Google. No, not a world without search engines, but one where a different name reigns supreme. A purple and yellow giant. This isn't science fiction. It's a trip back to the 90s. Before likes, before tweets, before endless scrolling, there was Yahoo. For millions, Yahoo wasn't just on the internet. It was the internet. It was your homepage, your email, your news, your messenger. It was the friendly, human-curated guide to the wild early web. Its founder, Jerry Yang, wasn't just a tech guy. He was a titan, a pioneer who had mapped the digital frontier. By 1998, Yahoo was an absolute powerhouse. Picture this, a market value soaring towards $40 billion. They were, by all accounts, too big to fail. Or so it seemed. But even the mightiest kings have their vulnerabilities. Yahoo's strength was also its greatest weakness. It was a portal, a hand-built directory. Real people would find cool websites and organize them into categories. It was like a massive digital library card catalog. This worked beautifully when the web was small, like a cozy town. But the web wasn't staying a town. It was exploding into a planet-sized megalopolis. Yahoo's manual system became slow, cluttered, and hopelessly outmatched. Keeping up was impossible, and in the shadows, a silent threat was brewing. In a humble garage not too far from Yahoo's own gleaming headquarters, two Stanford students were tinkering with a revolutionary idea. Their names were Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They weren't trying to manually organize the web. They were building an algorithm to do it for them. An algorithm that ranked pages not just by topic, but by authority and relevance. How many other important pages linked to it. They called their creation Google. It was brutally efficient. The homepage was minimalist, just a search bar. It was fast, clean, and uncannily accurate. Of course, the giant in purple and yellow noticed this little upstart. How could they not? Google's search results were getting better than theirs, and it was starting to eat into their territory. And this brings us to the pivotal moment, the colossal mistake. The wrong move that would echo through tech history. The year is 1998. Page and Brin, still just grad students, are struggling to get their project off the ground. They're more interested in finishing their PhDs than building a corporate empire. So, they do what any startup would do. They go to the biggest player in the game. They approach Yahoo. Their proposal isn't to partner or to license their tech. It's to sell. Sell the entire company, lock, stock, and algorithm, so they can go back to their studies. And the price? Get ready for this. $1 million. $1 million. Let that sink in. For Yahoo, a company worth tens of billions, this was less than pocket change. It was a rounding error on their quarterly earnings report. It was the kind of deal they could approve with a single unenthusiastic phone call. But the response from Jerry Yang and the Yahoo executive team was a firm, confident, and utterly arrogant no. Why? Why would they pass on what would become the deal of the century? It boils down to two things: arrogance and a stunning lack of vision. The Yahoo executives looked at Google and didn't see a revolution. They saw a feature, a nice little search function, sure, but just one more thing they could eventually build themselves if they ever felt the need. The thinking was, we are Yahoo. We have the brand, the traffic, the engineers. Why would we pay a couple of college kids for something we can do better in-house? They completely missed the point. Google wasn't just a better search engine, it was a fundamentally new philosophy for the entire internet. While Yahoo was clinging to its manual, human-curated directory, convinced that people wanted a guided tour, Google was building a machine to index all of human knowledge automatically. Yahoo was a library. Google was the consciousness of the web itself. Blinded by the wild success of their portal model, they believed people wanted curation, not raw, unfiltered efficiency. They thought they were in the business of building a destination, a cozy online home. They failed to see that the internet was about to become a utility, and the most valuable company would be the one that got you where you wanted to go fastest. So Larry Page and Sergey Brin, rejected but undeterred, walked out of that meeting and decided to go it alone. They found funding elsewhere. And as the 90s ended and the new millennium began, Google's growth wasn't just fast, it was exponential. It became a verb. You didn't search for something anymore, you Googled it. Meanwhile, Yahoo continued to stumble, still convinced its portal was the future. And here's the truly painful irony. For several years, Yahoo actually ended up outsourcing its own search function to Google. The king was now paying rent to the very upstart he had scorned just a few years earlier. They had the keys to the kingdom in their hands, and not only threw them away, but ended up paying to peek through the window. You'd think they would have learned their lesson. But the story gets even worse. Fast forward 10 years to 2008. Yahoo is now clearly losing the war. Google's dominance is absolute, but a lifeline appears. Microsoft, terrified of Google's power, steps in with a massive offer to buy Yahoo for $45 billion. A chance to merge two old guard giants to create a real competitor. A chance to save the company. And once again, the Yahoo board, in a breathtaking display of misplaced pride, rejected the offer. They were still blinded by the ghost of their former glory, believing their brand was worth more. It was the second catastrophic mistake, the one that truly sealed their fate. Today, Google, the little project that was once on sale for $1 million, is now Alphabet, a global titan of information and technology worth over $1 trillion, a figure larger than the entire economy of many countries. And Yahoo, the former king of the internet? It was eventually sold off in pieces in 2017 for less than $5 billion, a fraction of what Microsoft had offered. It was dismantled, its assets scattered, reduced to a mere shadow, a footnote in the history it once wrote. The incredible, history-altering no of 1998 wasn't just a bad business decision. It wasn't a technological failure. It was a failure of imagination. A failure to understand that the future rarely looks like an upgraded version of the present. Yahoo made the ultimate wrong move because it valued its crown more than the world changing around it. It chose to protect its status as king, instead of embracing the revolution knocking at its door. Its story is the ultimate cautionary tale for anyone, in any industry. It's a stark reminder that complacency, especially at the very top, is the fastest and most certain path to extinction. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. See you in the next video.